Hi guys, and welcome to my Game Week 8 review and Game Week 9 preview stream. Hope you're all doing good. Get some messages in the chat. Welcome. Yes, I am back after my break. Thanks to Phil for asking. It was good, but I think we ought to do a little something different today on the stream. We will definitely talk about FPL and I'll tell you how I got on for sure. But as you can see in my chat there, I've just mentioned that, of course, it was Mental Health Day yesterday, and there's been a lot going on in the FPL community at the moment, a lot of negatives. So I thought it'd be really cool if we could maybe put some hearts in the chat for people we might know are struggling at the moment, or as you'll know, for those who supported me the last few days, you guys put some hearts, and I also replied with some hearts on your messages to me about my dad who passed away around this time last year. Those blue hearts were for Tottenham because he was a massive Spurs fan, like huge Spurs fan. So it was a little tribute to him. So if you have anybody that has passed, if you have any funny stories about them, pop them in the chat and I'll read them out. As I say, if you don't want to give anything private away, then maybe just give us a heart. Give me a heart for somebody you know and love, whatever colour, whatever style, whatever you like. But I just thought it'd be really good to reach out and share some love today. So hopefully you guys can all hear me and the stream is working okay, because I have been away for a little while. So so I'm hoping everything's working as it should be and that you can hear me okay. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay, so that's good. And before we get into the chat and things like that, I'll just talk you through how I got on in Game Week 8. My defence was just as fabulous this week as it was the last game week. I got the returns from all 4 of my defensive players. Patrick got me 9 points. Patrick, Patricio, sorry, I call him Patrick. Alonso and Robson both got clean sheets on 6, and Trippier got the same, but also a bonus point with a total of 7 points. I'm seeing the first hearts coming in the chat from FPL Centre. Thanks. Thanks, C. I decided to play Hughes this week. Yeah, wasn't possibly my best choice. I didn't think many of us seen a 4-0 Bournemouth win, did we? Did anyone call that? I mean, if they did, fair play. Fair play if they did. But as a result, Hughes only got me 1 point. So that was fairly disappointing. I feel like a bit of a broken record when it comes to Lucas and Salah. 3 points each. Again, annoying. I think they both look great going forward, but they are just not returning FPL points. They're not returning FPL points. And Salah probably gets a bye due to his fixtures, but Lucas does have a good fixture this week as well, but maybe he has to go. I'm not sure. Mitrovic is also on the possible chopping block. He went down in price last night, so if I'm sticking, then it's not too bad. But if I am going to sell Mitrovic, then I'm in some trouble there after losing some money on him. Aguero got me just the 1 point this week. I think we were all hoping for lots more goals in that game, weren't we, really? And they just didn't come. So that wasn't very fun. Thankfully, though, I chose Hazard as captain with his 1 goal and 1 assist. 3 bonus points for a total of 28 points. Don't get better than that, really, do you, from your captain? It's awesome. But there were 2 massive fails on my behalf this week. I could put somebody in it because they might have helped persuade me in a certain direction here, but I won't mention any names. They know who they are. But first of all, this one was all me, and that was not playing Doherty over Hughes. I obviously should have had Doherty in. I didn't play Doherty. I didn't play him because I was playing Patricio, so I didn't really want to double up because assumed like Palace might score at least one goal at home. So that didn't turn out too great, really. Secondly, I had 2 free transfers last week, and I found that tougher than not having transfers at all, really, because there was this kind of pressure on me to make a change. So yeah, it felt really like I had to do something rather than, you know, making a really educated change. So in the last hour, as I said, I was persuaded, possibly, and I don't need much persuading, it's true, to go a bit batshit crazy. But yes, anyone who watches my streams will know that last week I had Wilson. And as you can see from my points this week, I have Jimenez. So I sold Wilson and bought Jimenez. I was thinking slightly logically. I thought, well, I could free up some cash here, you know, and, you know, Wilson kind of gets the odd, like, couple of goals, but Jimenez has been pretty consistent, so I can, like, cash a bit of cash here, and then 2 transfers next game week. I can make some better changes. However, in practice, this is football, and whilst Jimenez did get me the assist, Wilson trolled me with a goal and 2 assists. So I'll just quickly show you that I got Doherty second on my bench there, so you can just see my bench. All in all, I got 71 points, so not that bad, actually. I'm around 146k at the moment, but obviously, if I'd played Doherty and if I'd kept Wilson, I'd have been in the 100 club and probably been in the above the 100,000k mark now. So FPL can be a cruel mistress, can't she? She really can. We think we're doing the best when we're not. Sometimes it's better just to leave your team alone. Okay, I will grab back to the chat now. I've kind of filled you in. I'll go pop back up so you guys can see some of the messages that have come in. I'm not sure if you got that message. Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't let me send it because it's too long. That's why you can't see my message above. Yeah, I'll quickly just... Oh, you can see it on the screen. That's okay then. As long as you can see it on the screen, that's the main thing. Okay, cool. Hi, Salmon. Hi, Phil. Hi, Shane. Welcome. Mo says, I missed the starting. Nim, you can have all the hearts. Oh, thanks. We're just putting hearts and lovely stories about people we know, Mo, people we might have lost, people who are struggling. I think it's really good to highlight these things. I myself, as a sufferer of anxiety, you know, it's a tough thing to talk about. So just giving some support to people out there who need it. Definitely. Hi, James. Welcome. Thanks, Phil. Hi, FPL2 guys. 1 Cup podcast. Welcome. Although I'm going to have to think of a shorter name for you than reading out all of that every single time. Carol. Should I replace Kane and David Silva for Aguero and Mane? What's your opinion? Difficult. Kane did blank, didn't he? That's a very tough question. I've seen a lot of people selling Aguero. I don't know whether that was just for the Kane incident or whether people are still getting off of Aguero. So that's a difficult one. I would probably... I would always go with Aguero. So if you know me at all well, you will know I have a slight love affair with Aguero. So yes, I'd probably side with Aguero. Bench FPL, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Okay. Lots of hearts from Shane. Cool. Mo is asking, do you have 2 free transfers or whether you're taking a hit for that? The Shane says that's unlucky about Wilson. Oh, it's less unlucky and very, very frustrating and annoying. So whilst I'm letting you guys chuck some more questions in the chat, feel free to let me know how you got on in the FPL this week. Actually, I'll be really good to know how you guys, what you got for points, and whether any transfers worked out well or didn't work out well last game week. I want to hear how you guys are doing as well, so feel free to, you know, chuck stuff in the chat for me. And whilst you're doing that, I will pop on over to my ones to watch and ones to avoid, because everyone seems to quite like that little feature. And my ones to watch this coming game week is first person on the list. This Burnley midfielder has just been quietly getting on with things the last few weeks, and that's Goodmanson. He is 6 mil and has 1 goal and 4 assists in the last 3 game weeks. The reason I've made him a one to watch though is he has Man City away and then Chelsea up next, so they're quite tough, which means unless you're really happy to risk him, then maybe it's best to wait until those fixtures are over with before getting him in. And next up we have to go looking now for the other ones, because I didn't have them set up. So, and I know how you all like to come on this lovely journey with me anyway of discovery. It's like a big surprise, isn't it? So you know it's an Everton player. Who's it going to be? Next up on my ones to watch is Sigurdsson. Of course, we all know what Sigurds is capable of, and he really has shown that in the last 2 game weeks. We had 2 goals against Fulham and 1 goal against Leicester. He has Crystal Palace up next, which looks a great fixture for him. He is definitely on my radar. He's not the cheaper of those Everton midfielders. I have written a little piece about it for Stato's article this week, but he's definitely a differential, because lots of people will go for, you know, people like Richarlison, and so he's a bit of a differential. And then last up on my ones to watch is somebody I'm considering getting in when I talk through my transfers later. It's not King or Wilson, is Brooks. It's hat-trick midfielders for my one to watch. And Brooks at Bournemouth just looks awesome. He's had 2 goals in 2 games, I believe, but his minutes have been a bit mixed. He has Southampton and Fulham up next before his fixtures turn, so I guess if you want a punt, then Brooks could be it for 5 mil. He could be a man, definitely. And then moving on to our ones to avoid, because we all want to know who to get rid of. And first up is all the way down the bottom. It's a Watford man. And it is Holebas. Aside from his suspension until the 27th of October, I believe. Yep. Watford have only been able to keep a clean sheet once so far this season. Once, wow, really, is that bad? And at least at the moment, I don't think their defense is worth having, so I would just be avoiding for now. If they get anything, it'll be like the one odd, you know, one-off sort of thing. So if you have them, then obviously stick. Well, maybe not with Holebas because of the suspension. But if you have a Watford defender, then maybe stick. But I wouldn't necessarily be going out my way to get one in at the moment. And then the next person to avoid is a bit of a surprise. And might take some consideration, this one. But I've gone for Luke Shaw as a one to avoid. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this one. Because even though United have the same record as Watford, so that's 1 clean sheet still, only, yet this season. Shaw does have the kind of attacking threat. So it was a tough one to put on the avoid list. At least this week I've done that because he has Chelsea up next. So maybe give him some thought if you're deciding to get him in. I wouldn't be doing it just yet, pretty much. I'd be waiting until Chelsea was out of the way because hopefully Edin will score lots of goals. Sorry, Mo, I know you're a Man United fan. And then the last person I've put on the list is... Oh, she's gone to Liverpool. Who's she going to go for? Could it be Mo Salah? Could it be Mane? Who's it going to be? I've actually gone for Naby Keita. Pre-season, we heard a lot about him being a box-to-box player, and to some extent he definitely has been box to box. He's been, you know, very, very good for Liverpool, definitely, but as an FPL asset, I'm not too sure on him. I mean, 7.2 at 0 goals, 0 assists. He may have great fixtures coming up, but until he can find some returns, I think you've got to avoid him, really. And so that is my ones to watch and ones to avoid. I will just pop you my team now for this coming week on the screen. And then I'll chat through some of my possible transfers to be done this week. But before I do all of that, I will get back to the chat. So... the heartbreak of an FPL manager right there screams, Wilson! Oh, honestly, it wasn't the great way to start off this particular week, as if I needed that as well, but there you go. FPL Centre says, it's not a person, but I lost my dog last Christmas, was obviously very close, had him for 12 years. He was a nightmare, always trying to squeeze through stupid gaps and defences, but always got his bum stuck. Oh, FPL Sand, I'm so sorry for your loss, because I have 3 little pooches myself, so I love dogs, and they can be they are family, and it can be tough losing them. So thank you for sharing that little story, because I have this little vision in my head now. FBL Booster sending some hearts. AT sending some hearts. The Gamer says, oh my, also bench Doherty. Feel your pain. It's evil, isn't it? Does that surely mean we have to play him like every week now? I think it might. Okay. What nickname am I going to give Two Guys, One Cup podcast? You'd have to stick it in the chat what you think a good nickname would be. I'm thinking 2G, 1C, something like that. I don't know. We've got to work on it. But 68 points from me, up to 12k rank. Wow, well done. Doherty on the bench, though, painful. Ugh, it's evil. It's just evil. Mo got 75 points. Well done, Momo. Frank says, I think regarding Kane, the Cardiff game proved form over fixtures. Happy to hold Aguero currently. Bill says, I got 66 this week, but have Fraser, Pereira and Robson on my bench. Ouch. Mo says, Mitrovic on the watch list because his price dropped. Who do you guys think will be on the ones to watch? 80 says, on the ones to watch, Benteke? Are you serious? Really? Tekers? Is he going to come out of nowhere? Could do. Could surprise us all. I mean, Sturridge has had a revival, hasn't he? So I guess so. Bench FPL. Fellow sufferer of anxiety, hearing him. Great to speak out about it. It's a tough old thing. Kane transfer failed for a hit. Oops, we've slipped. as you will have seen. But did get Goodmanson, Doherty owner, 65 points, -4, dropped to 55k overall. Well, it's still a drop, but you're still within the top 100k, so it's not that terrible. And 65 is, God, I can't believe you got a red arrow with that. Oh, Booster was an Alba out for Kane captain. Ouch. Shane says, lost my mum a few years ago and suffered depression/anxiety. Used to be afraid. Oh, new subscriber, sorry. I'll get back to that. Welcome, Ed. Welcome. Oh, I'm very close to 1,500 subscribers. So if you're watching and you're enjoying, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Shane, sorry. He lost his mum, suffers depression and anxiety. Used to be afraid. Let that be known. Time to end the stigma around mental issues. In my opinion, Nim, you're awesome. And so is your content. Shane, thank you. I knew it would be tough asking people to share these stories and tough reading them out, but I hope it shows people that it's okay. And somebody really brilliant, I get a bit teary, but somebody once brilliant told me that you should never feel sorry for the way that you feel, because you can't help how you feel. And that is a true story. And if we all felt like that, I think we'd all be a little bit more accepting of each other and our little quirks and our, you know, our little ways. And it's not easy losing a parent. So Shane, I feel you and thank you for sharing. Bench says, it's been going well. The average in the top 50k last week must have been much higher than the FPL average. That's true. Mo says, I can't remember properly, but I believe Cabaselli is suspended due to his red card. So they'll be missing 2 first choice defenders. Ugh, that would be slightly rubbish, wouldn't it? Apparently, 80 says Kate is struggling to cope with the pace of FPL. That's quite possible. Mo says, Shane, thanks for sharing your story. Shane got 83 points. Looking at getting in Trent, can we think about getting rid of Alonso? Yeah, Alonso's a tough one, isn't he? I think everyone has this thing with Alonso where he costs so much money as a defender that we can, when he goes big, it's very easy to go, get Alonso in, he's worth it, he's a defender, he's attacking, he's getting goals, he's getting assists, you know, he's only 7 million. Well, that's just it. He's only 7 million. And what Alonso does when he goes big is he provides almost a midfielder place for 7 million. So when you weigh that up, the points that, in fact, let's have a little look at the points that Alonso has. So let's go just to midfielders, just curious. So we have Hazard on 74 points, Sterling on 50 points, and Fraser on 48 points. Actually, he's joint with Mane. So if we now go to Alonso, who has 60 points, he has more points than Mane, Fraser and Sterling if he was in the midfielder spot. If he was classed as a midfielder, which I know he's not, but what I'm saying is that he would be second behind Hazard in points, and at just 7, is it just 7 million or has he gone up in price? 6.9 million. So whilst we haven't seen any attacking from him just yet, actually, can you guys can see that, can't you? Let me just bring it up a bit. There you go. So whilst he's not bringing any attacking threat at the moment, he's the sort of person, the sort of player you definitely want in your team. in case he does that. Now, if we're another couple of weeks down the line and he's got no more attacking threat and the clean sheets are starting to get a bit here and there, then I think consider selling. But right now, I wouldn't be getting rid of him at all. That's just my personal opinion, Shane. Hi, Ibram. Hamid, play update on Fraser injury. Update on Fraser injury. I didn't check. If anyone knows, I could. In fact, let's go look at Ben. I'm not sure if he's posted anything on Fraser yet. So let's have a look. On the 15th was the last one. Eddie Howe reveal, that was no, hang on. That was the 15th of September, so no, I don't think there is an update unless anyone else has seen it, I'm afraid. Sorry, Howard. Oh, slipped again. Sorry, guys. Richard says, afternoon, Nim. Lonesome checking in. Hi, Lonesome. Don't worry, I've been really good. I haven't cried too much about Wilson just yet. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Hi, Richard. Mo says, Arnie or Mitrovic, pick one. I've got Mitrovic. I was all set on getting an Arnautovic, as you guys know from the last stream, but then I watched him play and I thought, I don't know about this, you know. I just don't know. He's I mean, he'll probably prove me wrong now. Let's go on Arnautovic. Why not? Yemi says, let's get those lights up, folks. 3 is unacceptable. Oh, thanks, Yemi. Richard says, Arnie. Oh, okay. FPL 2 guys, 1 cup podcast. Just call me Sham. That's so much easier. I'll try and remember that. Ibrahim says, Kane is the biggest scam. Oh, Kane. It's Kane. You can imagine the place I was in last game week when, obviously, as I explained a little earlier about my dad's connection to Spurs, and last season, you know, a lot of people got behind me when all of that happened, and if they had Kane, they captained him and a few people bought him and he did really well for them. It wasn't just for me, it's for another member of the FPL community who we sadly lost too. And the thing about Kane is that when he's on it, he's on it. Like, we all know how good he can be. So he's really frustrating, really difficult to not own when he's doing well, and really difficult to own when he's not doing so well. So whilst it's so easy to sit here after not buying him last game week and feel like I dodged a bullet, I know how easily that could have been different effectively, because he can do so well when he goes nuts. AT says, Kun or Laka? You know what? If I could buy anybody right now, I would be buying Lacazette. And I actually am going to talk you through who I was thinking of getting in this week, and Lacazette is one of them. If I had to choose one, I'd still go Aguero, but I can see the merits for going Lacazette. Richard says, great XG techers. Last time everyone saw Fraser when he was injured, he returned huge that weekend. He's just saying, but it's true, is true. Just gonna check something, guys. Cool. How are we doing? 34. Yummy says going to go 3 sub 9 mils up front. Now they're all out performing the more expensive options. That's also an option. I've seen a few people doing that. It's pretty good. Just gonna move my screen because it's a bit, you don't want to be looking at the top of that, do you? Okay, cool. James says, I will share some pain. I triple captain Kane. Yeah, James. James had his big boy pants on. He went like full out. He was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to triple captain Kane. And yeah. So unlucky. Like, that's just a fixture from heaven, isn't it? Gutted for you, dude. I was. Ibrahim always had anxiety and depression, a real issue that people won't understand, that don't have. It's very true. There are a lot of people who can't understand it because they've never been through it. But I think people are trying more to understand, and that's something. It's a slight step in the right direction. Hamid says Mendy for Trippier. Is that a suggestion to me? Or is that you asking? Again, sorry. AT says it's okay not to be okay. It's very true. Ibrahim lost my dog, was the best dog footballer you can ask for, hands down. Passed away last year, hasn't been the same. I'm sorry, dude. And it is tough when you lose them and then you go through the whole, do I get another one because I don't want to replace the one I've lost? And for me, it's always been I need a little period of adjustment without that you know, pet. But then I always like to have them than to not have them, because the joy that they bring when they're here, and each of them have their own little personalities, so it doesn't really feel like you're replacing anybody, which is, you know, which is good. Booster says, what for struggle is more the reason to play Doherty. That's true. Shane says, we can't help how we feel. So true. Hamid says, Mitro for the next 3 fixtures and then Arnie for the rest. That's another way of doing it. That's good. Sharif says that I'm looking good. Why, thank you, Sharif. Sterling, is he any good to risk instead of Salah? Ooh. I actually wrote about Sterling earlier and he looks... he's really going undetected in the FPL community. The thing is, I seen a post kind of jangling around Twitter this last week, and Salah is there or thereabouts. He's around, I think he's, oh, I can't remember the exact tweet, it's slightly bugging me now, but basically the summary of it is that Salah's not far off what he was doing this time last season. So if you consider that and Salah's fixtures coming up, then if he manages to turn it around like he did last season, well, not really turn it around because he hasn't been terrible, but I mean if he manages to go nuts again like he did last season, then he'll definitely be worth the money. But what I can tell you is that Sterling is going unnoticed at the moment, and if you want an alternative, he could be the place to look. So that's my thoughts on that. Mo agrees me on Alonso. Yeah, when he's not getting attacking returns, he's getting clean sheets. It says, don't think Fraser is serious, sounds like he needs a rest. Oh, well, that's not too bad then. Phil says Fraser is just injured for the internationals. winky face, injured. You know, one of them. We all know one of them. Has Doherty become essential? Is it bad if I go with Johnny instead? I think Doherty possibly essential now. Johnny instead. I don't think there's any wrong in going Johnny, but you might not get as many attacking returns. Hi Ed. Shane says, hugs from Australia. Oh, I've just sent my best friend back to Australia. Now I have to move on or I'll start crying. Yeah, I had Wilson on my bench and Captain Kane. Oh no. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Yemi. And James, because he triple Captain Kane, so. Richard wants to know, is anyone keeping Kane? Yemi is giving him one last chance. Mo says, you didn't think anyone else would have worse luck than me, but poor old James has 80 Aguero lack of game week 9. Clement says both. Sham. FPL Centre says, I feel like you named the pod after something but can't quite place my finger on it. At Aguero. Frank says, Salah captain versus Huddersfield, Aguero captain versus Burnley. I'm going nowhere near Salah for captaincy. He needs to prove to me that he's worth that captaincy badge. Going nowhere near it. Has to be Aguero this week for me. Head, who would be more important, Aguero or KDB? KDB, can't wait to see him back. I think if he comes back, and as long as we have to remember, everyone's getting very excited that he's in training and stuff and he'll be back. We do have to remember that he played very deep at the beginning of this season, like Eriksen's been doing for Spurs, and it hasn't really yielded that many returns. So I think we have to, as much as it would be really great to jump on KDB early, given his price, to kind of go in all guns blazing and then him be kind of plonked back, kind of getting the ball back and things like that. It's not really what you want. So I'm going to stick with Aguero for now, but keep an eye on KDB. I mean, AT says go KDB, so. Sumac, who should I make captain? Aguero, Mane, Mitrovic or Lacazette? Ooh. Well, I'm going Aguero, but I don't own Lacazette. So I don't want to jinx my boys. I don't want to jinx Arsenal. But if I had Lacazette, I would be hard pushed not to captain him. Mo's thinking Salah this week. That's brave. So's Frank. He thinks it's only a matter of time for a big haul comes in. Rooftop Rory. Hello, Nympria. You brighten up my screen. One of the happiest people I've ever seen talk FPL. Oh, thank you. Salah will bring up his goal average. Mo says the Nim fam is all about spreading positivity and love. That's what we're all about here. We love to spread a little positivity and love. FPL Centre's made a good point about Salah. You're not concerned about his finishing. I am. That's why I'm not captaining him. AT, Salah can't even pass the ball at the moment. He's a Liverpool fan and want him to do well. Yeah, well, we want him to do well too. We're not Liverpool fans. Well, kind of are if Salah's playing well. JCCR kicking him out. He's getting rid of Salah. He's had enough. That's it. Boom, get out. No other chances. You're off. Frank says, true about the chances for Salah, but the stats show it is identical to last season and he clicked. That's true, but do you know he's definitely going to click this week? Or will it be next week? Or might it be the week after? That'll be the only thing. Right, I'm going to quickly, while we've got a bit of a kind of catch up on the chat, I'm going to talk you through what I'm considering as my Game Week 9 preview. Some potential lineups and some transfer options, and you guys can kind of weigh in and tell me whether you think it's all rubbish. Just please don't try and persuade me to get somebody and sell somebody really good like what happened last week, please. That'd be nice. Thank you. I'm actually feeling quite stuck on what to do this game week. I've been fairly confident up until now of what to do. A little bit of a wobble last week, but that was kind of a last minute one. Whereas at the moment, I feel like my confidence has been knocked a bit, making the wrong choice with Wilson to Jimenez. So I don't want to kind of like get stuck in a knock-on effect of that. Bournemouth have 2 great fixtures coming up. So my question to you guys is, do I get Wilson back? Do I get him back? Let me know what you think in the chat. Here is kind of a rough idea. I mean, if I was to keep this as is, and bear in mind I do have a two transfers this week. Fixes is projecting 59 points. I would probably play Doherty over Hughes, which gives me projected 61. To probably move Hughes to first on the bench. Probably still play Alonso against Man United. I mean, they've been a bit shaky at the moment, haven't they? Aguero, captain. Salah can be vice. So that's probably where I'd be rolling. Like that. If you can all see, you can't see my bench, can you? So I'd probably roll with Hughes, Wan and Billing. And then that'd probably be my starting 11. But what I can do is switch Jimenez back to Wilson. But Jimenez has been pretty consistent. You know, he does get a lot of shots. You know, at least one of those on target, a couple of attempted assists. So, you know, he's been pretty consistent week in, week out. And I also did consider Arnautovic for this position, the Jimenez position, but it would mean freeing up some cash elsewhere. So really considering like hoofing out Lucas, because he's getting on my wicks a little bit. To think about where I went with that one. He's getting on my nerves a little bit, because he really looks as if he should be doing better than what he actually is each week, given the teams that are up against and stuff. So I would have to drop Lucas to somebody cheaper than who am I talking about? I probably can't afford Richarlison now. Let's have a look. I know how you guys love me just sitting here kind of going it's because it's all like, it's what you guys do, isn't it? I'd have 6.7 left. So who have we got for 6.7 in midfield if I went Arnautovic? Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. 6.7. Fraser or Goodmanson, Pereira, Walcott. Oh, oh no, I can't afford Richarlison. It's 6.8. Knockout, maybe. Can you see that? I think you can. Yeah, cool. So that's one option. Mitrovic has blanked the last 2 game weeks, I believe. So instead of, I know we don't have enough. Gonna make me put Jimenez back in the old-fashioned way, ain't you? So I could just like quickly, because the thing is about Wilson is that his game weeks a little better for 2 game weeks, but then it changes again. That's why I went to Jimenez in the first place. And then I'm not sure I want to sell Mitrovic with Cardiff up next. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I could obviously leave Jimenez where he is and get somebody in for Mitrovic. Or, of course, I could just buy somebody for Lucas, like Richarlison, and keep that front free. But the one transfer that I'm really considering, if I can bring myself to bring sell Mitrovic ahead of Cardiff, I do have enough money to do Lacazette and have this front line, and then somebody for 5.2, of which I was thinking about putting in Brooks, so it would still kind of cover the Bournemouth midfield a little bit, hopefully, if he played. But that's what I was thinking. But of course, that does leave my midfield, you would say, fairly weak for a couple of weeks, because it would be, my midfield would effectively be Hazard, Salah, Brooks, Hughes and Billing. But obviously we can get a good look at Robertson, Salah in the next one, and then, you know, an Alonso. And there might just be somewhere down the line another opportunity to, you know, downgrade somebody and upgrade elsewhere. So I'm going to come across to the chat now and see what you guys think. Just my ponderings for you all. Okay, where are we at? Going to scroll up a minute, catch up with you all. AT says Salah can't even pass the ball at the moment. Yeah, I read that bit, didn't I? Sorry. Ed says, I'm thinking doubling up on Liverpool defence for their easy fixtures. Trent and Robson, what do you think? Want Liverpool players but just can't trust Salah and Mane. Is Trent nailed on? Because I looked at Trent myself, but he didn't play in the last match. So do we know why he didn't play? I probably should have checked that before I came on air. So I'm not sure, Ed, on that one. Frank says, honestly, Hall will come on the week most don't. Captain Salah in soft fixtures, like 2 incoming. Or Santa says, totally agree. I just think I might wait until I see him get that confidence going before I fork out 12.8 million. Plus, I need to prioritise getting Hazard. Yes, you do. Hazard is a must. Frank says, I always known him. True, you do have good insight to these things, Frank. Yeah, he says Salah's got lead feet right now. Rory says he's feeling the pressure this season. It's true. Shane's very torn on captain for next game week. It's Hazard or Aguero for me, even though I own Salah. Just want to see him haul first before he gets the armband. leaning towards Hazard. That's interesting. I definitely going Aguero. But I could see the appeal with Hazard. Yemi, he shouldn't be though. He is the only player on the team without any competition for a spot in the starting 11. I'm not sure if that's... Who are we talking about there? JC, why not Lacazette? Is that to me? Because I'm considering him. Oh, so much. Should I play Alonso or Doherty? Can you play both? It says keep Jimenez as Watford has 3 of their main defenders out. Okay. Blessing. How you guys? How was your game week? Not too bad, thank you, Blessing. How was yours? Mo says he'd play Doherty if he had to choose one. JC Richarlison. Oh, so it must be to me. So yeah, I can have Lacazette or I could have Richarlison, but I wouldn't be able to have both. Phil says Jimenez is due a decent haul soon. I would upgrade Wambi or get Mendy plan in place. Yeah. That's a lot of money in defence then though, Phil. But I am actually considering like possibly Robertson to Mendy. Possibly. Because Robertson hasn't returned any attacking returns for a little bit now. So yeah, a Mendy plan needs to be in place. Oh, I keep slipping down, sorry. Got Green Arrow this week, can't complain. Keep Mitro for the fixtures. So who do I sell for Lacazette? If I... It's really depressing watching Arsenal play and not having an Arsenal player. Just putting that out there. I know it shouldn't have any bearing on FPL at all, but it kind of does. Should I pick Doherty, Alonso, Trippier, Arnold, Bennett? Wow, that's a great backline. Well, you could play, like me, you could play 4 at the back. That's what I'm going to be doing. You could play Doherty, Alonso, Trippier and Arnold. Leave Bennett first on the bench. Blessings at 20k, well done. Can you go Jimenez to Wilson and Lucas to Richarlison, or Lucas to Knocker, Jimenez to Arnie? I can. I need to reset this because otherwise it'll have moan at me. Jimenez to Wilson and then Lucas to Richarlison. How much would that leave me? 7.4. How much is Richarlison? 6. Oh, that's not the right box, sorry. Pretty sure he's 6 something, isn't he? 6'8". So yes, I could do that. But then bear in mind obviously that I would have 0.6 in the bank, but bear in mind then that obviously I would possibly have to consider selling Wilson back on after 2 game weeks because of his fixtures. I would play Doherty, Alonso, TTA, Trippier maybe drop for Aurier. Keep an eye on international fixtures first. Ooh, yeah, well, if Trippier does start getting dropped, then that's the easy way to Mendy, I suppose. AT says Kane plus Sterling or Aguero plus Salah. That's mean. What about Aguero plus Sterling? It's quite a lot of City double up, but... Okay, TTA was just rested. Okay, well, he's a great option. Isn't Aurier still injured? TTA didn't play because Klopp went with a slightly more defensive lineup. Okay, so he's a cheaper way into that Liverpool defence then. 80 says maybe Klopp knew Pep was going to park the bus. Possibly. Phil says Robson is my way to get to him. Yeah, I think if I needed to go Mendy, then Robson would probably the one to make way. As you say, it'd be easier possibly then to get Trent for, say, Wan-Bissaka a bit down the line and still have Liverpool cover. So grab Bellerin or Monreal. I'm not going anywhere near Arsenal defence. I can see what you're saying. I know they get attack and returns, but no. It's kind of Lacazette or nobody. Possibly Ramsey. Would consider Ramsey for that Richarlison spot. But it all depends on this baby gate. These babies are due soon, aren't they? That's why he didn't start the last match. So I don't know where that puts him. So, but yeah, Rambo could possibly go in that spot. Paul says, Paul Wilson along with Laka seems points chasing right now. Everyone wants King back last week before Wilson's explosion. That's true. And the same with Kane the week before. So this is why I'm not sure this week. This is why I feel really conflicted. Like I'm going to make the wrong choice. Maybe I should just stick with Jimenez up top and, you know, and either save a transfer, not do anything for another game week, or sell Lucas to somebody like Richarlison or Sigurdsson or Ramsey or Maddison. Anyone cheaper than Lucas, because he's just done nothing. Nothing for weeks, and it's so annoying. Jane says Hughes may need to go soon, Nim. I know. Do I have in the bank? So selling Jimenez did give me 0.8 in the bank. So that does give me my one change could be 5.8 this week for somebody for Hughes. Who are we looking at for 5.8 though? Is there anybody? Knocker at 5.5. Brooks maybe. Siri, how much is P Shirley? He's quite expensive, isn't he? He's probably 6 something. This doesn't really get me much, 5.8, does it really? You really need Mendy. I'm glad I kept him for all these weeks. Yeah, that's yes and no, because obviously depending on the Sané thing now, because obviously Sané did quite well when he had his chance, then is Mendy going to get rotated depending on like how he wants to set up fixture wise? Not sure on that one. TTA doesn't push forward yet. You'd be getting clearly for just for clean sheets for Liverpool defence. Shane says lots of choices in FPL. It's true. Could just leave the front line and deal with the mid. Yeah, I could do. Feel as if I could, as soon as I feel like I could have an unlimited budget. That's nice. Who taking Knockout looks superb. Yeah, we had a lot of talk on Knockout, and I did watch him the other night, and he did look really good. But I'm always a bit skeptical to bring in. I did the same with James Maddison though. Like I'm really skeptical to bring them in until I've seen them doing really well, and then like you want to kind of, how can I explain? You want to make sure they're doing something before you buy them in. So it's tough. Mora to Richarlison is an easy transfer. The latter playing striker now. True, Booster. Very true. Just the last time I bought any Everton midfielders, it didn't go so well. So effectively, I bought Richarlison. he got a red card, and then no, sorry, I bought Walcott, he got injured, and then I got Richarlison, who got a red card. So I am kind of feeling if I buy Everton midfielders again, that I will break them. It's always a slight worry. Yeah, I'm just a couple off Fraser, Mo. Knock out in for Hughes and just roll a transfer. That's possibly. Jim says, how much have I missed? Only roughly about an hour, Jim. Welcome. You can always catch the replay, though. I believe Sigurdsson is better pick than Richarlison at the moment. Yeah. Paul Mendy has rotation possibilities with Sané. Yeah, just as I was saying, wait on Mendy, guys. Trippier to Dunk. Hughes to Richarlison. Wow, that would be... yeah, that'd be big. That could probably work, but I'm just not sure I want to get rid of Trippier against West Ham. I guess we got to see whether Richarlison is going to... Richarlison? Hughes... Yeah, no, sorry, you got me thinking there. You got me thinking there, Centre. It's a good one. I don't know. I kind of want to see what's going to happen with Trippier, whether he's just going to play him constantly like he's done with Kane in every match. Sorry, microphone. Or whether he will start to drop him and switch him up. Mo, P. Shirley as a possible replacement for Lucas if you're looking to get rid of Laka. Schürrle's not afraid to shoot. Get rid of Laka. Do you mean Lucas? You probably mean Lucas. Hiya, man. Do we get another transfer next week? You get a transfer oh, you mean in the international break? No, it's every game week. Every game week that's played, you get a free transfer then. Shane, I'm stopping now. Haha, good luck with your choice in him. Thanks, Shane. See you soon. Ultra differential would be Kennedy at 4.9. Good point. As a suggestion for a transfer, Bellerin for Mendy or Johnny for Wolves already have Doherty. I'd maybe stick with Mendy for now and see what's going to happen. And then that gives you another week to then see who might be a great replacement for him. And Mo says, honestly, this year is the worst. You have someone on your watch list and then they perform and then you want to bring them in. They do nothing. It's very true. Right, guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up because I've been talking quite a long time. So I'll just quickly put in what my thoughts were for this game week to stick as it is. If I go with this and not make any transfers. So you can see my team. Probably put Hughes first on the bench. So that's quite possibly what I could roll with there. As my starting 11 if I don't make any transfers. But as I say, I do have 2 free transfers. And as I say, I did make a transfer last game week for nothing. In fact, for a lot less points. So it has made me slightly nervous to make any more transfers with my free transfers this week. So anyway, thank you all for joining the stream, and I just want to say to everyone who shared their stories about loved ones and for all of the support that you've given to everybody, thank you so much. You have been a massive support for me. It has been great to know that whether it's been day or night, I could just come onto Twitter and keep my mind active, because I'm definitely better when I keep my mind active. So, you know, thank you to everyone for all your love and support. And do continue to keep giving your love and support to everybody in the community. Let's make this a really great place to be again, because it has got a bit funny at the minute. And you know, we're all here just to have a bit of fun. So let's try and keep it lighthearted and help everybody out. And if you know of anybody who's struggling, or you haven't spoken to anybody in a while, just give them a ring up and check on them and invite them out. You know, if they're not able, pop over for a cup of tea. Whatever you can do to help, it's always good. But just from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the show. So follow me on Twitter and you'll know when I'm going live next. I'm not sure what's happening with the Wildcats. I'm not sure if we'll get one in the international break or whether we'll be back as soon as the international break is over. But I'll again let you know via Twitter. And the other thing I wanted just to say is that all of this stream was brought to you by my sponsors at MatchFit. They were my other sponsors, but by fantasyfootballfix.com. So make sure you go and check them out. So thank you everyone, and I will catch you all very soon. Look after yourself. Stay safe even. And free it out.